Now we are going to develop a code in which we will convert the URL to image format, and after converting the URL to image format, we are going to perform face detection on that image. So first, we need to import certain libraries. So first library is import URL library. So it is a package which is used for opening URL. It is a Python module, and with the help of this URL package, we are going to process the different URLs. Then the next is we need import CV to perform face detection, because all the classifiers cascades are present in CV2 module. So we are going to import that. The next is we need one more library, which is NumPy. NumPy is numerical Python library. So all the numerical operations which we are going to perform now, with the help of NumPy, we are going to do that. So these are the three libraries which we require. Now just run these lines. Okay, now it is successful. The next is we need to load the cascade. Okay, so next step is load the cascade. Now there are pre-trained models which are present in CV2. So here we are going to use hair cascade model to detect face. After installation of OpenCV, these pre-trained models are located in the installed folder. We just need to give the path of the algorithm. So here I am going to use hair cascade frontal face default.xml. Okay, so this is the path. So this is the line of code which I am going to include now. CV2.cascade classifier is the method which is used to load the cascade, and this is my cascade, which is hair cascade frontal face default.xml. So our input image will be compared with the data in this classifier, and these are the pre-trained models which are already present there. The next is we need a URL right now. We are going to read a URL and we are going to convert that URL to the image format. So this is the URL, HTTPS. This is the URL of a Tom Cruise image. Just remember one thing: if you are including URL, if you are writing URL, then it should end with the image extension .jpg. Otherwise, it will throw an exception. So URL should end with an extension. Then the next step is we are going to open that URL, right? So URL underscore response, which is equal to URL library dot request dot URL open. I want to open this URL. So this is the URL which I want to open. So I'll pass the URL name here. So this method will open the URL. It will process the URL. So run this. Now let's convert this response into the NumPy array. So let's take one variable, and here we are going to use np.array byte array and pass URL response variable dot read comma pass the data type now use the decode function. Now cv2.imDecode function reads data from specified memory cache and converts the data into image format. It also recovers the image from network transmission data. So we will now use the method which is cv2.imDecode, and here we will pass our data. So here we are going to pass this array and we are going to get the data from network transmission data. So basically we are going to get our image from the network transmission data using the IM decode method. Similarly, there is another method which is IM encode, which converts the image data to streaming data. If you want to convert your image data to streaming data, then you just need to change this line, that is instead of IM decode, write IM encode. So here we are using IM decode because we are reading the image from network and converting it into image format. That's we have written IM decode. So after reading the data from the network, we will perform face detection now. Now this IMG contains my image, this image. Now this URL is converted to image. Okay. Now let's perform face detection on this. So the typical steps for face detection are, first we will convert that image to grayscale. To convert the image to any other format or any other color, so we need a cv2.cvt color, and here we will pass the image and we will also pass the color code conversion. Here I am converting my image from BGR to gray. Okay, and then we will perform face detection. So here we have converted our image, converting image to grayscale. Why we are converting our image to grayscale? Because if the image is gray in color, then it contains less noise and it's easier for face detection. Then for face detection, one method which is used is detect multiscale. So this detect multiscale actually detects the object. So let's perform face detection. Faces is equal to, name of cascade is face underscore cascade. So this is the cascade which is loaded in this variable, and dot detect multi scale. Okay, and here we need to pass certain parameter, that is the name of image. Now my image is gray. Then scaling factor, which is 1.1, and minimum neighbors 4. Scaling factor increases and decreases the size of image, and this is the minimum neighbors which is used for comparison purpose. You can specify any number like 4 and 5. So the classifier will stop comparing after finding 4 equal matches. So this is the face detection code. So after detecting the face, we will draw rectangle on that image. Draw rectangle on the faces found. For that we need one for loop where we need certain coordinates like x, y, w and h. In faces, and we are going to draw a rectangle. So cv2 dot rectangle, and in this I'm going to pass my image. Image is gray, right? Image, then, or I can also pass img, then my coordinates x, y, x plus w comma y plus height, and then color code and thickness of the rectangle, and finally cv2 dot imshow will give me the output. URL image is the title which I am giving to it, and here image, and cv2 dot wait key is it wait for user key to terminate the program. Here X indicates the location of rectangle on X-axis, Y indicate the location of rectangle on Y-axis, W indicate the width of the rectangle, and H indicate the height of the rectangle. Let's run this code. It's showing some error. URL open error. So let's check the output. Run this. Okay. So this is our output. This is the image of Tom Cruise. What we did, first we imported certain libraries like import URL lib, then import CV2 and import numpy as np. URL lib is to read the URLs, we need this library. CV2 to perform the face detection, and numpy to perform some mathematical operations. Then we load the cascade. So here we are going to use hair cascade classifier. So this classifier is already installed when in your system. When you install OpenCV, you just need to give the path here. I'm going to use hair cascade. So this is the path of the hair cascade. If your hair cascade is in your current directory, so if this file is in your current directory, then you don't need to pass the entire path. But if your hair cascade classifier is in some another directory or in some another folder, then you need to specify the entire path. Then after loading the classifier, you need a URL, right? So this is the URL. This is the image of Tom Cruise, and this Tom Cruise image is present at this URL. So pass the URL of the image, then you need to open that URL. To open the URL, we have one method which is url.request.url open, and just pass the URL here, and whatever the response we get, we will take that response in this variable, that is URL_response, and then we will convert that URL into an image format. So this is the method how we can convert the image into URL format, and this is the data type of that image format, which is np.unsigned integer 8. Now this image_array contain my image format. Now I will decode that image, because I am going to read that image from a specified memory location, and this IM_decode will convert that data into an image format, and it recovers the image from the network transmission data. Now let's convert the image which is obtained from the URL to a grayscale. Okay, so cv2.color is used to change the format, change the image format. If your image is color, you can change it to grayscale, you can change it to HSV format. I am converting this to grayscale because it reduces the noise of the image. Then we will perform face detection. Detect multiscale method is used for face detection. Here we pass the name of the image, then the scaling factor, if you want to increase or decrease the image based on the algorithm, then the minimum neighbors. After detecting the face, I want to draw the rectangle on the image. So for drawing the rectangle, I need the parameter like x, y, w, h. X is the location of rectangle on x-axis, y is location of rectangle on y-axis, w is the width of rectangle, and h is the height of rectangle. Then I'll pass the color code here and the thickness. And cv2.imshow method is used to open that image in a window, and wait key waits for user key to terminate the program. Now let's close this, and we will change the color of the rectangle, and we will also change the thickness of the rectangle. See, this is the image of Tom Cruise. Now I have obtained this image from URL, I have converted it to image format, and this is the output.